such as has happened tonight. I'm very, very happy that it has happened. A thought occurred to me. The laboratory of nature has provided us with an answer. In fact, granite is melted in the earth. In fact, granite comes up through pipes and extrudes on the surface of the earth from time to time. And when it does, sometimes it becomes a glass, which is obsidian. Now, if it cools lower, such as the rock you're seeing right here, technically, I think geologists say it's only a rhyolite if it's on the surface, but there are other people who are geophysicists who say it's a rhyolite even if it's under the surface and cools from a granitic melt. In other words, what I'm saying is what you're seeing on the screen right now is the rock that resulted from the cooling of a granite melt in the earth. And it cools slowly. And the reason I know it cooled very slowly is because the writing on the rock, you can't see the 1 very easily, is 1,683.3 feet down below the surface of the earth. Now, when that cooled, the rock, the melt itself, the granite melt, did not recrystallize as the original granite. It recrystallized as a fine-grained rhyolite, meaning that the crystals of the quartz and the feldspar are very, very small, whereas the crystals in the granite crystal, which I have up here, are macroscopic, millimeters in size in some cases, and in other cases, such as the rock I'm showing you, the material I'm showing you right here, inches. In some places, there's a muscovite crystal 9.5 by 7 feet, 3 feet thick. In another place, an enormous crystal, 14 feet, 33 feet long, weight not less than 90 tons. We can turn the lights back on now. And so in response to the comment that it's easy to do granite synthesis, I point to the natural laboratory, the laboratory of nature, in which granite has been melted and allowed to cool an innumerable number of times. And the material does not result in a reformation of a granite, but what geologists call a rhyolite. The only way that you could possibly falsify the comment that I just made, or to do anything about the falsification test, is not to refer to a report. The reports have been read. The laboratory of nature says it comes back to a rhyolite, not to a granite. I want to make a suggestion then. If indeed the day ever comes when you are successful in doing what you claim to be able to do tonight, my telephone number will be given to you. And you can call me, immediately call WTVK Channel 10, make it a citywide public event, statewide, whatever you would like to do, and publicly put your evidence where your expertise has been tonight. And I'll be very, very happy to be there again. Yes. In other words, I'm saying it can't be done, and until you produce it, the laboratory of nature says that the experiment is going to fail. In fact, the experimental synthesis experiment that has already been done has been shown to be nothing except something extremely similar to the rhyolite, which is what the laboratory of nature says it has to be anyway. Yes?
Even if our geology did melt and create granite, like what you said.
Come up to the microphone.
Suppose that your professor here did create some granite, just like what you have in nature, and it took a week and a half, whatever. I thought the point is, would it have the polonium in it? Would it have the polonium halos? Isn't that the point?
Well, of course it wouldn't have the polonium halos. I was trying to get everyone the benefit of the doubt. I was saying they can, if they could really synthesize a piece of granite, I was going to make it easy for them. Of course it wouldn't have any polonium halos in it. But you see, I've broken the problem down so it's so simple. I mean, people keep saying that the polonium halos are only the result of natural radioactivity. And so I said, if that's true, I'll even let you take a piece of granite today. If you really think that the polonium halos are only a natural phenomenon, take a piece of the biotite or a piece of the phlogopite, something similar to this. If you heat it up, you'll destroy all the halos. Then take that piece of sample into the laboratory and produce some more polonium halos in it. And I'll say even that is a falsification of what I'm saying about the halos being created. You're absolutely right. A piece of granite formed in that way, even if it were done, would not have the polonium halos. But I'm breaking the problem down to a point where I'm saying these are the created rocks. And I'm saying, you know, if you could do something like that, synthesize it, then go put in a halo in it even after it was synthesized, then I would say you doubly falsify what I'm saying with respect to creation. But I'm not going to back down tonight and say, you know, what if this and so. What I'm saying is the laboratory of nature has shown it's not going to happen. I've investigated the granite synthesis experiment that has taken place. A geologist wrote to me and said, and I will quote, in fact, he sent the letter to Dr. Press just the other day. He's writing to Dr. Press, and he's again repeating the claim that a piece of granite has been synthesized, and it was done on that TV Ontario film. And that's exactly what it's taken me about 2 months to run down a 20-year-old sample. If you can imagine, an experiment that was done 20 or more years ago. The scientist indicated he thought, of course, it meant something to me for tonight's presentation. And indeed it did.
Thank you.
Very good.
It seems obvious then that if he grabbed a piece of radioactive polonium from Oak Ridge and had it right next to his furnace and threw it in, quickly mixed it, that 22 minutes later it would be gone, or I propose.
The half-life is only 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
You see, it's not only just the polonium itself that is coming and disappearing so rapidly, it is putting that amount of radioactivity in a tiny speck. When I was there, I worked with various radionuclides, various proportions. People who work with radioactivity will tell you that polonium is one of the most active, mobile radioactive elements known. To what I'm saying even today, with all the technology we have, I'm saying that there is almost an impossible problem of accumulating naturally that number of radioactive atoms of polonium within a 1 micron speck of any kind. You see, because 1 micron, 10 to the 9th atoms of polonium will occupy about 1 cubic micron. So when the polonium halos formed here, they had pure, just about pure polonium in the center. And pure polonium-218, by the way. So I'm only barely skimming the surface of the technical problems that are involved in trying to explain polonium halos on a conventional uniformitarian basis. But you can't imagine how happy I am tonight that someone has come forward and said that it is possible to do that, because now we can be watching in the days ahead. I'll have my telephone on an answering service, and WTVK and Channel 10 and all the rest of us here at the University of Tennessee will be anxiously waiting for this to occur. Yes.
Well, I'd like to see if I've got this straight now. You take a piece of granite that's already been formed, you heat it up, you destroy the halos, correct? Okay, now, I've got 3 minutes to form large grains and have polonium halos trapped in it. Is that correct?
Well,
or approximately?
No. The conventional view is that the granite had to form slowly. And so therefore, as the professor was saying a few minutes ago, he was saying it would take him about a week to do it. But you see, what I'm saying is that he's not going to do it in a week. He's not going to do it in a month or a year. He's not going to ever do it. I'm saying that the way this rock was created is impossible to duplicate. I'm saying that the implications of what we find in this rock are such to show that it was created very rapidly, it was created in such a way that it can't be reproduced. And not only just the granite itself. I'm saying that you could take I offer the same falsification test for this piece of biotite. Reproduce a piece of biotite, melt it, whatever you want to do, dissolve it, and grow another crystal of biotite like this. And again, I say that my view of creation, this evidence for creation, this being a primordial rock, I'll take that as a falsification. So it's just not the granite itself. I've given people a leeway. I'm dealing with just a pure crystal of a mineral. So there's a little difference there. They would not agree that on their basis that the rock ever had to cool very rapidly. In fact, they would be saying that the larger the crystal, the longer it would take to form. And this is why I took pains to read from this paper in the American Mineralogist that there are some crystals in nature today which weigh like this, or very similar to this, a phlogopite, which weigh as much